Welcome back to Trigun Anime Review Part 5. This one I'm not reviewing 4 episodes, it's basically I'm reviewing 7. Reviewing episode 1723. Yep, you can kind of say, for the case, the first 2 episodes, they kind of feel like a bit of a two-parter in a way. Yeah, I would say, if you look at these episodes, 17 to 20 are canon episodes. 20 is kind of a canon episode, but all this one does is set up pretty much the plot of the remaining episodes, though the seeds for a planet in episode 18. Now, in the case of the canon episodes for this series, for 17 adapts chapters 14 and 15 of the original Trigun anime manga, plus chapters 4 and 5. Well, probably bits and pieces of the chapters, because this episode's a flashback. 18 adapts the first 2 chapters of Trigun Maximum. 19, 3 through 6 of Trigun Maximum. 20 probably adapts a little bit of chapter 4, but yeah, that's also technically the last canon episode of the series, because during 21, it's all anime original stuff. Though some of the stuff was actually set up in the canon stuff, so I set it up later. 17 is pretty much Vash's origin story. In a way, it's mostly put the origin story of how the humans got to the freaking planet they're on. Yep. This particular episode, the way it's basically done, it's done very similar to that of Alien. A group of about half people going to another planet. Though it's all, yeah, and of course you have people in animation. So you have some keys here from some nods to Alien, the original film. Not Aliens, not Alien 3, not Resurrection, definitely not Prometheus, the original film. You know, with the handful of people, and there's some murderers on board. Yeah, as a matter of fact, by the time they get to Earth, here's kind of the strange thing with this episode. With the exception of 2 characters, all the characters in this episode, with the exception of Rem, yeah, this is actually, because most of the time when you see the character Rem, she's actually Vash's adopted mother. And this is actually her first and only episode in the series. This episode is mostly a flashback in a way. That's pretty much what this episode is. Yeah, we also see sort of the anime debut of Knives. Though we see him also previously in a flashback. Next episode actually expands on that. Now, I should point out though, Vash does appear in this episode. This is a young Vash. We also see pretty much one of the key things in this episode is we see the origin of his hair. How he got it the way it was. Rem cut it that way. Yeah, Rem cut his hair. She wasn't going to cut Knives' hair. Knives is Vash's brother. Yep. Oh yeah, I'm also going to reveal exactly what the species Vash and Knives are, because they hate humans. Goods or not. Well, Knives hates humans. Vash doesn't. And Knives is Vash's twin brother. And he sort of manipulates the crew first to take out the drunk member of the crew, who actually has a tendency to hit on the only other female character who's not Rem, tends to grope her, and he tends to get drunk and very jealous. So it's kind of hinted that Knives manipulated all the events of this episode. So they come across this planet. This planet actually is the planet where the series takes place on. Oh yeah, and they mentioned what happened to Earth. Apparently Earth was dying, so they decided to have the entire population vacate the planet into this spaceship known as Seeds. Yes, Seeds. And these little pods. So, they come to this planet, possibly a place they can go, but they're going to leave anyways. And then Knives decides to manipulate the crew to kill each other. With the exception of Rem, he does not touch Rem. Probably because Rem holds a special place in Vash's heart. Vash, he tells Rem he does love her, probably not sexually, of course, because he's actually quite young. I think it's sort of like a mother-son relationship. That's what he sees it as. Rem appreciates that. So, yeah. The 2 members of the crew, who actually have glasses, one proposes to her. This is after they take the jerk of the crew and put him in suspended animation. Also, they alter the thing to where he never wakes up, which I think is quite stupid. And apparently he's set in trial for allegedly for raping the female crew member, and she doesn't show signs of being raped. I'm like, Yeah, even he says like, yeah, I didn't do that stuff. Why the heck are you judging me? Could you bother to hear his side of the story? Nope. Lock him up. Despite the fact there's probably no evidence to support it. The other reason why I think they probably did because probably didn't like him. So they get to the planet, and slowly but surely, the members are killing each other. And like, first the female criminal gets killed by the guy who proposed to her, and then he gets killed like off screen. Like I'm like, what the heck happened here? Did he just kill her, and then just change it, and then Rem just. And of course, the monitors being blocked. I'm like, how the heck is that possible in this spaceship? How does the monitors get blocked? Also, is this the future? Why are they still using guns with bullets on board a spaceship? Wouldn't they be using, I don't know, ray guns? Nope, it has to be freaking bullets. Where the heck they got these from? Now, I should point out, though, about the gun they use in this particular episode. This is also the same gun that's actually popped up, used by the villains of the series. Probably because Knives gave it to them. The Gung Ho group. Yeah, as where Vosh got his weapons from, that is never revealed in these episodes. Nope. And so, the captain is killed off screen by Knives. Yeah, he lies. Oh yeah, he redirected the ships to crash on the frickin' planet. To basically, or probably disintegrate in the atmosphere. But Rem decided to stay behind instead of basically evacuating with the boys. She decided to redirect where they land peacefully on the planet. Yeah, a desert planet that has no bodies of water on it. I'm like, why the heck did you come here? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's revealed in later episodes actually one ship that actually did not crash to the surface. I'll get to that one. And yeah, this episode moves pretty quickly, and it's a pretty good episode. For a good prequel, it's a really good flashback episode. I kind of wish we got a little bit more of this, basically. And then, like, the very next episode, the episode opens with Vosh confronting Knives. At the instant of Lost July. Yes, this episode reveals what exactly happened at Lost July. Yeah, apparently Knives, it's implied that Knives may have did this, where his basically his right hand turns the freaking cannon that was seen back in episode 16 that destroyed Augusta, and this is what destroyed Lost July. Yeah, without killing people. And we see Knives in present day in a particular suit that he does wear in the rest of the series. Yes. That's one thing I do appreciate, though, about Madhouse doing. Despite the fact that episode 20 becomes pretty much a filler, it becomes end of original episodes, at least they keep him in the same outfit. Yes. I at least appreciate that. Vosh, obvious. And then we jump ahead to the present day, where apparently we get to the Trigun Maximum stuff. Yep. Yeah, this is the opening portion of the series for Trigun Maximum. So, Vosh is living in pseudo retirement for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, it's implied it's been a 2-year time skip. Now, they do make a slight change here. In the manga, at the end of the original series, the insurance agency disbanded. In this series, they're still active, which I'm like, how the heck is that possible? Also, it's implied that about 6 months have passed by since the events of Augusta. In the manga, it was 2 years. Why the change? I have no idea. But at least it was a time skip. But I would believe the 2-year time skip over 6 frickin' months, given how long Vosh's hair is and his frickin' beard. And the fact that, here's kind of the strange thing about this. In the dub, he's referred to as Eric's. In the sub, he's referred to as Kirsch. Why they changed the name for the dub is particularly very weird, because all the rest of the characters, from what I can tell, keep the same names they do in the sub. But why did they change Vosh's alias for? It makes no freaking sense. Oh yeah, and also, Wolfwood's in the episode because he's looking for him. Why? Because Knives is active and making people disappear. Yeah, this is a plot thread that will actually be... This is the whole point of this plot thread. It will explore the rest of the series. From what I can tell, basically, from the episode I got up to, the plot thread has not been resolved yet. Yeah, it's kind of forgotten about a little after this. So, Vosh himself, basically, we see this guy really is Vosh. Not just because of his hair and his voice, Oh yeah, and also the girl he's with, she's implied to be 12. She looks like she's about 15. Bosch, I should point out, Bosch in the anime is 130 years old. Oh, and what is the guy's species? He's a plant. Yeah, a plant. A very intelligent creature. Yeah, his powers do come into play. Basically, he's very super intelligent. Yeah. He doesn't really show off this very much because he's basically somewhat of a coward. That's how he's portrayed in the series. So, there's one guy who claims Vash Stampede. It's not really him because, well, this is Vash. So he goes out and tells him to calm down. He tells him basically the guys he's basically beg to stop this. He says, if you want to beg me, forgive this. Strip naked and bark like a dog. Strips naked? Yep, this is definitely Vash because of the ridiculous scars he's got. Yeah, it was hinted at in a flashback episode before episode 18 that Knives was the one who gave the scars to him. How the heck he gave the scars to him? Like, what did they use? Apparently, scars given by Knives don't heal. The rest of the ones do heal, but not the ones from Knives for some reason. Yeah, they've never explained why this is. So, oh yeah, they're in basically a city called Costa City. Yep, and Wolfwood basically convinces, Bosch to come up with his retirement he had for 2 years. Living with an old lady and her granddaughter. Yeah, apparently Lena found him in pretty much the odds of living as a hobo. Santa Fe Augusta. Yeah, living as a hobo, still wearing his coat, and you see him now, and looks like though that in the time that when he was last seen, looks like he kept in shape. He's not thin. He did belly didn't bulge up, which some people might do, and he also apparently has stopped shaving. And his hair grew out. His hair grew out and stopped shaving. That's not surprising. Most men would actually do that after 6 months. Or they might basically put on some... I mean, in the case of him, he doesn't look that much different at all. He just stopped wearing his coat. And his gloves. What happened to the coat? The anime doesn't bother to explain it. He does get a new coat in episode 20. Yeah, he does. But yeah, basically 2 episodes after this, he gets a brand spanking new coat. Yep. Oh yeah, and also the Lena girl is kidnapped by the same bandits. Vash and Wolf will go rescue her, and they go out. And this leads to Meryl and Millie going back out to see Vash. Yeah. Despite the fact at this point in the action manga itself, they actually were working for someplace else. They weren't working for that insurance agency anymore. They were working for someplace else. So, they dumped me at Vash again for a little bit, but yeah. New Oregon, okay. Yeah, I don't really remember episode 19 very much, so I think I did watch it today. Yeah, I'm looking at the description of it like, yeah, I did remember like episode 20. Yeah. 20, the flying ship. Yeah, apparently Vash basically has a way to get to this particular ship via the hurricane, the typhoon going on. Yeah, this is not a traditional typhoon. This typhoon is basically like a big whirlwind. It's basically kind of like a hurricane version of a tornado. That's what this typhoon is. Named Jacqueline. And Vash uses the currents to fly up to the thing, and Wolfwood follows him, and they fly up to the top. Yes. And they get to the spaceship, and it's people who were living on the spaceship for years. Like, for the past, 130 years, they have lived in this particular ship. And this is the first time Vash has been there in 5 years. Oh, yeah, and also 19, yeah, that's the last time we get a Trigun Maximum with that very episode, because after the episode and this one, it's all anime original. No more manga after this. Why in the world that Madhouse did this for, I have no idea. It's particularly very weird. Probably, and this is my personal theory, they probably got finished up with the manga too quickly, and they just probably wanted to start Trigun Maximum, but they didn't want to do anything else with it. Yep. Yeah. Also, Vash just get back his gun. Yeah, apparently he got it back, and it's revealed he got back. Wolfwood gave it to him. Yeah. What happened with that is that basically a character from episode 3, Frank Martin, decided to fix his gun. Yeah, how the heck basically where Wolfwood found it is never explained. He just got it back, and he spends most of the time wearing his clothes that he basically wore at the start of the series. He does eventually go back to his traditional coat in episode 20. Yep, with episode 20, he goes back to his classic look that he's known for wearing, which I'll get to that soon. So yeah, I remember episode 20 now. Yeah, steamship gets taken. This basically is taken by pirates. So Wolfwood and Bosch go rescue it. Yeah, and apparently Wolfwood's got a new gun. His previous one basically was cross weapon. He just about basically take out tiny pistols. This one is basically like, it's like the front of it, the bottom half is basically a machine gun. The back end of it is a rocket launcher. And I think the other one's basically small little pea shooters. Yeah. Interesting thing, at least not pulling out little guns this time. He still takes it out pretty much the same way. A bunch of belts and cloth basically wrap it up. I'm like, this is his luggage. This big, humongous cross. Oh yeah, and here's something quite interesting about this. Millie can carry this thing too. Meryl can't, because this thing is too heavy for her. Surprisingly, Vosh has never held this thing at all. I mean, Millie has. Not Vosh. Meryl's never seen holding this thing. So yeah, they reunite with the insurance girls, and, well, basically the gang's back together. Yeah, and they get, now as for the ship itself, when they get on board, there's some characters introduced in this one that's also in the following episode, but then, like, these characters disappear and never mentioned again. Yeah, it's particularly very weird. So, this is basically the only ship that didn't crash the surface. This looks like a group of about, I'd say, about 50 people on board this ship. Yeah, and apparently there's 4 planets on board, and one of the gung-hos decided to follow Vosh and Wolfwood to this place. A guy called the Puppet Master. That's what he calls himself. Yeah, and he looks nothing like his puppets at all. He did pop up in the previous episode, but mostly put up with himself here. So they get on board, and of course Vosh gives himself a new arm, which is a weapon he uses for the rest of the series. Excuse me, he also gets back his sunglasses and his trademark look he's got. And apparently the guy on board knows exactly who he is. Oh look, it's Vash the Stampede! Now apparently these people are so ignorant at the surface, and they don't like outsiders. And apparently Wolf was outside because he's carrying a freaking gun. Like, is this a message that basically people hate freaking guns? I mean, Brad himself carries a freaking gun, and yet you're afraid of guns. Oh, outsiders bring violence. Really? Well, one of your engineers has a freaking gun. Oh, we leave our peaceful lives. Your engineer has a gun. Oh yeah, and the guy who's in charge of this place is a doctor. Probably a engineering doctor. Yeah. He's also going to get Vosh his new arm. And apparently the girl Jessica on board the ship, she made him his new coat that he wears for pretty much the rest of the series. She also apparently took time to get back his gloves, not only his coat, but also his gloves, his boot, and probably his frickin' pants. Basically his classic look. She probably also made the time to make his frickin' sunglasses. Yeah. And then the puppets come on board. Well, first disguised as frickin' vultures. Yes, vultures. They come on board the ship with like 2 other people. Yes, 2 other people. There is Hepper the Gauntlet, who is graded to 9 lives. Yeah, graded 9 lives is a big hulking guy who apparently is so tall he can't fit through a normal space. Yeah. Why the heck they chose to bring this guy on board this ship makes no freaking sense. At least the other guy makes sense. Yeah. The one who's half of the gauntlet. Yeah, he's similar to the guy that popped up in when Vash was in Augusta. But this guy doesn't... At least this guy gets a little more personality to him. Oh yeah, and he carries a shield and he spins around. Vash tries to shoot him. And eventually, like, both plants 1 and 2, basically because the fight there and fight... Like, Vash's fight with this guy is in plant 2. And Wolfwood's fight is in plant 1. And eventually the ship, basically, because of both being damaged thanks to this particular battle, the ship crashed to the surface. And they get to the surface. All started, it's all mess, basically, all started when the girl Jessica gets taken captive. Yeah, it's revealed in the next episode that, nope, this was not Jessica. This was a freaking puppet. Where, yeah, because Wolfwood finds the real Jessica, and then when the fake Jessica basically is outed, she proceeds to shoot. She's, like, apparently she's ordered to kill Vash, and says she kills Brad. Like, fires 6 bullets in his freaking back. And this apparently kills him. Yep. And Vash is grieving over him. The very next, he's grieving over for quite a while. And this is also when Millie and Meryl reunites with Vash, apparently off screen. I'm like, okay, did these two actually meet these people? No idea. Yeah. What happened to these people? Never explained because they're forgotten about by episode 22. They get on the surface, they bury Brad plus... Oh yeah, apparently the Hookmaster also massacred a good number of people. I'd say if you look on the screen, it looks like he massacred 20 people. Yeah, with his puppet machine guns. Oh yeah, eventually, once the ship crashed to the surface... Well, I just find out gently, mind, not basically big honking mess. Oh, by the way, people in nearby town don't know this is at all. Nobody comes out basically to check on this. Like, hey, this looks like lost technology. We have a plant in town using the same thing. Nobody says anything about this at all. This is a good thing to follow up with the next episode. Nope, let's move on to something else. Okay. Yeah. So, like the bear people, and then Wolfwood goes and finds Puppmaster and kills him, making him the second gunhole he's actually killed in the series. Because he also killed another one in a canon episode. Yeah, he killed the samurai who survived Vash's cannon blast. Yeah. So, kills him, and then it leads to another gunhole in another episode. Yep. And then they drive off after basically the people. Yeah, ask what happened to the city people. Never explained. Yeah. Oh yeah, and also the plot thread of this people. Yeah, that gets finally brought up in this very episode. I've taken basically a breather. Those have Vash getting back in his outfit. So, they come across this town to hopefully get some shelter. Yeah. And they say no. And they couldn't say, oh yeah, hi, I'm Virus Stampede. Can you let me in? Nope. People turn them down. They go nearby building that has children in it. At least this actually is explained. Yeah, the whole abandoning town thing. That was a plot for episode 19. Okay. This is what happened. They were acting normal and then they all acted really weird. Where they start just walking, abandoning town, leaving all the possessions behind, and it's the adults are affected by this. I'm thinking, though, was this scene ripped off from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, where the parents get affected by something, and the kids don't get affected at all, and they start walking off someplace? Yeah, this scene pretty much basically reminds me of that. And apparently, the whole area with this one town, which has population, apparently, they are responsible. Apparently, this is the only town in this whole area that has not abandoned their town. Excuse me, yeah. and then like they spend the night at the kid's place, and then basically some people get killed, and they mistakenly blame Vash and his group. I'm like, do you have any evidence to support the fact it was Vash? Vash himself probably has no idea these people are even talking about it at all. They just need to beat the crap out of him, try to shoot them, instead of, I don't know, listening to their damn story. Yes, typical Hicks. Yeah. Like, oh, you killed my best friend. Really? You got evidence to prove it? Yeah. Yeah, that's just my opinion on the matter. And then basically a bunch of sandworms show up. I'm like, okay, now you're ripping up, like, okay, first you rip off My Power Rangers, and you've also ended up Alien with these episodes. Now you're ripping off frickin' Dune. The look of the worms don't look like the way they do from clips I've seen of the classic Dune film from the 80s. Oh yeah, and the reason for this is revealed a little bit later. A kid has got this special device in his ear, and apparently this is what's causing these sandworms to pop up here, despite the fact there's nothing here besides underneath the sand is frickin' bedrock. Yeah. I'm like, if this is bedrock, why does it look like frickin' desert? I have no idea. Because it's like some things are so freaking confusing about this episode. Look on the next episode is a little better. And the same one will stop things to shoot at the earpiece. Yep. Oh yeah, and it's revealed that a kid is one of the gun hosts. Gun number 4. Beast. Okay. His name is not Beat, but Beast. And Wolfwood shows up, though he basically is with Millie part of the time in this episode. And eventually he kills the kid. Because he was going to kill Vash. And everybody else. And Vash basically calls him out on this, like, why'd you kill him for? He was going to calm down. It's like, oh. Yeah, it's a very confusing scene that leads into the very next episode, which is the final appearance of Nicholas D. Wolfwood. The episode, Paradise. Bosch goes off in their town. Millie and Meryl stay in this town. So Bosch goes in their town, gets confronted by Wolfwood. Wolfwood is confronted by apparently his mentor. What the heck this come from? No idea. Oh yeah, we get a chance to reveal Nicholas D. Wolfwood's anime backstory. Apparently he was raised by somebody who was abusive toward him, so he proceeded to kill him when he was 7. Taken by the church, raised to be a killer. Well, also be a priest. And they received new orders. For originally, Knives wanted to protect Vash, bring him to him. Nope, change of orders. Kill Vash. And they try to shoot each other. And then they're interrupted by another one of the gun hoes. A guy who looks like he's got like a rifle that is basically from distance. It looks like a oil pipeline because of how long this damn thing is. Bosch finds him later on, like, oh yeah, the guy's name is Kane, by the way. How the heck Wolf would even know that? I have no idea. Yeah, apparently his mentor is associated with the gun hoes somehow. Yeah, it's a bit confusing the writing of this episode. And like he apparently has thing about hesitation about snatching his apple from us. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. But like Kane's taken out easy, his gun's taken out very easily by Vash. And before Vash even gets information from him, he proceeds to commit suicide. Did they take this plot from Dominique's basically manga chapter where after she got beaten by Vash she commits suicide? I have no idea. The mentor basically ends up killing Nicholas D. Wolfwood and he dies in a church. After a pretty grueling gun battle that's done really well in the anime. And then he dies. And Millie is the first person seen grieving because she's told to stay at the place they're staying at because, well, yeah, and it's very heavily implied that during the previous night that possibly Wolfwood and Millie may have had sex. Yeah, because they were summer each other and they could have had sex. They cut to the outside, but it's implied they may have done it because Millie acts a bit different and she's very, let's just say, obsessive with Nicholas D. Wolfwood and after this. It's not thoroughly explained. It just, oh, let's just comfort him and imply we may have had sex. Yeah. Because it was hinted at in the series that Wolfwood had a thing for Millie, and Millie had a thing for him, but never really developed. Yeah. And after he's killed, then of course he's buried, and apparently Millie keeps his gun. Yeah. Millie keeps his gun. Oh yeah, apparently Wolfwood's mentor's name is Chapel. I'm like, Chapel? As in the character from Spawn? Though, I should point out the guy looks nothing like the character from Spawn. Yeah, this guy apparently wears... Like, when I saw his glasses, they kind of reminded me of Geordi's visor from the Mirror Universe, from the Star Trek Broken Mirror comic. It's very similar look to that. And I don't know if this character... I think this character might be canon, I'm not really sure. I haven't really delved into it. Yep. Oh, don't worry, he's taken care of, like, the very next episode. I'll get to 24... Excuse me, in my next review. As for these episodes, I'd say 17, 18 are really good. 19 is really good. I would say it gets good up until, like, 21. Yeah. Because the next two episodes, basically, are not very good. Despite being anime originals. I don't mind anime originals very much. Okay. But 22 was a terribly written episode. Yeah. Visually, I think that the episode looks great. The performances are really well. The weakness of this episode is the writing. It is so stupid. And this apparently sets up the very next episode. Now, in case you are asking, did Wolfwood die in the manga? Yes. But he didn't die until toward the end of the very series. Yep. Yeah, but I don't think he died the way he did in the anime. Though this anime came out in 1998, he died like 2004, 2005. Because I did finish reading the manga yesterday. But as for the episode itself, aside, Wolfwood's death, I think, is done really well in the episode. It's probably the highlight of episode 23 is how his death is handled. It's handled really well. And the two people who are affected most by it are Vosh and Millie. Vosh probably because he saw Wolfwood is like a brother to him. He's like a brother and is basically his best friend. For Millie, she just lost the man she loves. The only character who's not really affected by Wolfwood's death very much is Meryl. She's affected, but not as much as Vosh and Millie. These two are heavily affected by his death. I'm like, in the case of Vosh, you just lost two close friends in the span of about 3 episodes. One we've never seen before, but they did develop that one, of the course 2 episodes. But I think one of the weaknesses of these episodes is, okay, we set up a 2-parter, and like a 2 loosely connected episodes, but we ignore what happened in the previous episode with the crashed spaceship. I'm like, why the heck would you ignore that for? It's so weird why they would ignore that for. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the final 3 episodes because when I watched partway through episode 1, I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to watching it. Finish watching it, yeah. But yeah, that's really it for this particular review. I've got roughly 2 more videos I'm going to do today. Next one I'm going to do is review the news chapter Blue Exorcist. And then it will be a review for the final 3 episodes of Trigun. As for, now there's a movie that comes right after 26. I might get a chance to view it either today or tomorrow. Depends on what time I get finished watching it. My guess is probably tomorrow, okay? But these next few. Bye.